Political alignment is gaining pace with the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi formally joining the ADC-led coalition. It is a move that is already changing calculations. Analysts say it opens the door to a possible Atiku Obi ticket, a scenario that could tighten the contest against the ruling party. We are now joined by an obedient stakeholder, Dapo Adaramewa, live from Lagos. Mr. Dapo, welcome to our program.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
We are good here. Let me start by asking, is Peter Obi joining or he has been there since? The ADC?
He has been there since. I think it's a big, shall we say, media circus around this whole idea. He was part and has been part of the formation of the coalition right from the start. So you cannot join something that you're already a part of. He's a founding member. He is committed to the coalition and achieving the goal of removing a government that has so far not been beneficial for most Nigerians.
Then where did we get the story that the likelihood is that he will pick his membership card of ADC today or tomorrow? Or was it yesterday? Because the story is all over. If you Google now, you will see that Peter Obi will pick his ADC card. Has he picked it, or is it true that he is actually going to pick it?
It's very interesting with the way news is created. Unfortunately, it seems like once a story generates a little bit of traction, that traction is evidence to some that it is true. But that's not, in truth, how things. His Excellency Peter Obi, there is no carried around in the news. He has been a member right from the start, and like I said, he's committed. For the opposition, the issue is about giving Nigerians an opportunity to elect a government that can put an end to the suffering of Nigerians. At this juncture, that Nigerians are going through a lot of suffering. It's interesting to see that what we're talking about is taxation. So those are the kind of things that we are prioritizing changing in the next election. So like I said, Peter Obi has always been a member and always been a part of the coalition, to destabilize and remove this government.
Yes, Dapo, while this question is germane is because, when the talks about the coalition was ongoing, of course, many members went to their... Can you hear me?
I can't hear you that well.
Yes, can you hear me?
Could you come again?
Yes, I said at the onset of the coalition talks, of course, we've seen them, including the likes of Atiku, but then especially Mr. Peter Obi and Atiku did not go back home to pick the membership card, which actually made some of us in the media to assume that they were sitting on the fence. But then midway, Atiku went to Jada in Adamawa and picked his ticket. And that is why I keep asking why we didn't see, Peter Obi showing his card. Was he weighing options up till now that he is satisfied to now openly declared? Was it yesterday during an X conversation that he said he is not rejoining, he has been part of ADC? Can we say he is now convinced with the project?
No. He was never confused as to the project. We need to recognize what Nigerians are going up against. The APC has become a behemoth. I remember I was just following the last interview, the last person you just spoke to. The APC has become a behemoth and is doing all it can to strangle opposition, right? Now, in facing with that, there is only one thing that can be done, which is a complete merging of all powers and all forces, right? And that is what Peter Obi has been about right from the start. So there was never any confusion of whether he was on the fence, or it will take more than any one person or individual to defeat the APC in the next election. What is required is a committed opposition force. And Peter Obi has always been an advocate of that. And wherever that, well, now it's in the ADC, wherever that comes to fruition is where he will be. And so he has never been on the fence or any such thing, right? He has always been a part. And it's interesting the way the Twitter space is being taken out of context to imply things that it is not saying. He was very clear in terms of where he stands, and that is that he has always been in support of the ADC coalition. He has always been in support of any coalition that is opposed to a government that has so far not benefited most of us Nigerians. I cannot say that the naira in my pocket today has the same strength as it did when this government started. Terrible as the previous APC government was, this government has definitely exceeded in a very, very detrimental way the standard set by the last APC government.
Okay, are you privy to the latest meeting, let me put it this way, ahead of his conversation yesterday as to the modalities for his formal, joining, let me put it this way? What will he do? Is it true that he will not step down for anybody?
It's a democracy. I don't see why he should have to. The party itself has its internal democratic measures in terms of how it will pick its candidate, and we need to let that run its course. But that being said, I think we need to face the reality that there is only one bankable candidate that moves the emotions of the mass of Nigerians, that can drive people to the votes, and that can deliver hope for Nigerians as to a change in government. And that is embodied in Peter Obi. He is the one person that we recognize to have integrity. He's the one person we know, will bring something different to Nigerians' governance structure, and he has shown that to all of us. So that being in mind, I don't think he is going to step down for any particular individual. But that being said, it is a democracy, and we will respect the democratic institutions within the party itself.
Of course, he made landmark achievement during the 2023 election, but then many believe that dynamics have changed now. Anybody who believes that what transpired in 2023 is the same phenomena 2027 may be daydreaming. Why is it that the obedience? Because many people believe that it is you, the obedience, that are fixated with that, popularity of Peter Obi. Why are you not shifting grounds?
Well, I remember in the last election, for those of us who were supporting, Peter Obi and the Labour Party, we were advised by well-meaning people of all sides, even family members, that there's no hope in it, right? And we all know how that election turned out, right? Had it not been for the last-minute maneuvering of INEC, we would have a different president and we would have a different country, and we will all be happy today. But that being said, what has changed between then and now? One, the suffering of Nigerians has gone beyond what anybody can imagine. The insecurity situation has been made worse. In fact, we saw the kidnappings and all the things that happened, and yet not one single soul was arrested, shot, or otherwise punished for all those crimes. It's a scary time for Nigerians. So that has changed, yes. And secondly, the only other thing that has changed has been that, shall we say, the current government's machinations, shall we say, and their grip on the institutions of democracy can be perceived to have, strengthened. But that being said, none of that really matters. What it comes down to is the will of the people. And I think Nigerians have had enough. Anybody that thinks that they will go into the next election cycle and bribe people with the same 5K that they got, I mean, that they gave last election, is doomed to failure. Nigerians will take the money from them and vote in a government that will bring hope to the nation. So the only thing that has changed, if anything has changed, shall we say, it has changed to the advantage of the opposition. It has highlighted the inadequacies of this government and has definitely set the ground ready for a transformative election.
But is the opposition one house? We just had, Chief Emmanuel Ogidi here a moment ago. You can see the problems in PDP. And even ADC, where your principal is right now, is also facing a lot of litigations. We know that you people are in court. There are people who are even challenging the legitimacy of the David Mark-led ADC. How will you reconcile this? And you have just few months to actually fix the house. Do you think the APC will surmount all these challenges in the next couple of months? And how?
Now, let's be clear on one thing. I don't believe that these challenges are naturally occurring challenges. Let's put it that way. I believe that we can all see that there is a force behind it that is aimed at, absolutely decimating any form of opposition. And it's a dangerous place for any democracy to be. The fact that Ekiti State had a major political party removed from the ballot is shocking and should be scary to anybody who cares about democracy. We have no doubt that they will continue their attempts. But like I said, the only thing that really, really matters is what Nigerians want. There is no government in all of history that has ever been more powerful than its people. So when the time comes, Nigerians will express themselves. And all these small, minor inconveniences, all these small, minor, things that are going on, they are just games. They're just games. They will all come to an end once the time is right. So we need to move forward with a certain confidence and certainty, because we know that in the heart of every Nigerian, deep down, we all want a change.
But are you aware that there are many Nigerians that don't believe of the external factor you are making reference to? Because political parties, once they have problem, they begin to now point at the ruling party. Within the ADC rank, or let me say the obedient rank, there are some who are not really willing to even join Obi to move to the ADC. Are you aware of that? Or they are insignificant in number? They will not affect that movement, that resilience that we saw in 2023.
You see, in any gathering of people, any political party or any structure where you have a large mass of people, there are always fringe opinions. That's how I would call them, fringe opinions. There are always the people who say, if Obi moves this way, I will not follow him. But they are insignificant, really. The majority of Nigerians only want one thing. And that one thing is a government that will work for them. Right? There's an old saying, I think it was Nelson Mandela that said it: nobody cares whether the cat is black or white, so long as it catches mice. Right? And that's the same with Nigerians, whether it is ADC, whether it's under LP, whether it is under any other party. Nigerians simply want a government that will work for them, and they have seen an embodiment of that in His Excellency Peter Obi. His plans for Nigeria, his plans for transforming the northern part of Nigeria, particularly around agriculture. And we're not just talking about building more farms, because what's the point of building farms if there's no road network to transport the foods to the places where they're going to be bought, if there's no security in the nation to ensure that the farmers are safe? So that's what Nigerians want, and that's what they will get come the next election.
I still have some questions for you around that, but let's sort this one out. In ADC now, we have a number of strong contenders. We have Atiku there, we have, of course, Amechi, many of them. How do you think Obi will convince them? Especially, many believe that this is the last chance for Atiku, and it appears he is all out to clinch the ticket. Do you think Peter Obi will have the magic wand to convince Atiku to step aside for him?
It's not just a matter of convincing, it's a matter of what is best for Nigerians, right? And the truth is, being president of Nigeria is a very attractive position. I don't think there's many people that don't want to be president of Nigeria. Even within the ruling party itself, all the governors, all of them, they want to be, but that's how democracies work. Just because there are many people who want a particular position does not mean that the right person will not get it. Do you understand? So the fact that the ADC has many people who might have the desire to be president of Nigeria does not mean that the ADC, or shall we say the coalition, would not find and select a candidate that ideally has the highest chance and the only chance of removing the government in power.
There are some who are saying all what Peter Obi is saying now is just to ensure that he retains his loyalists. But inside the House, I'm talking about the coalition, it has been settled that he is going to be a vice presidential candidate. Could that be true?
No. He has firmly, outrightly said that that is not true. And we cannot put somebody of that caliber, to the position of the vice president. No, it would not be fair. And it would be against the will of Nigerians. It would be against the will of the millions of Nigerians who voted for him last election.
I said this could not be the first time. At the time he deputized Atiku, right, under the PDP.
And Atiku deputized Obasanjo.
Yeah, but So what we are saying now, looking at the dynamics, the north-south dichotomy, looking at pedigree and all that, some are saying they're not terribly battered, and they will therefore love to have someone from their end as the flag bearer of whatever coalition that's going to be there. And rather than having another candidate from the south, they rather, stick to Tinubu, who will just have another 4 years, and then automatically the baton will shift to the north. Don't you think this will affect the chances of Peter Obi?
I understand the calculation, but Peter Obi has, repeatedly said his willingness to serve out one term, make the difference that he wants to. And so that is not a worry at all. I think what people in the north need to ask themselves is, have they benefited under this Tinubu government? Have the quality of their lives improved under this government? Do they see themselves in a better condition than they did prior to this government? So the issue of the rotation is not something that His Excellency Peter Gregory Obi will violate. He has promised that he will do all he has to do within that one term, allowing for the power rotation to continue.
But do you think he will live by his words? His words will be his bond, assuming he gets it.
100%. If there's one person that we can trust, we can all agree that we can trust, it's Peter Gregory Obi, And
okay,
also,
now, in the event, yes,
the other candidates, have they really? Sorry?
Yes, are you with me? I said, if you put
Yeah.
the votes that Peter Obi, polled 2023 and those of Atiku together, over 13 million, right? Meaning that if they can coalesce into a force, it will be a very, very simple task for them to defeat the incumbent president. But in the event they fail to agree, and probably maybe Peter Obi pick the ticket of another political party, it will be a very simple contest for the president. Do you envisage a situation where they will consider this advantage that they have so that one will step down for the other, or they will come together as flag bearer and his vice president in order to defeat the sitting president?
I believe you are very right in your analysis of the votes that they both have. His Excellency Atiku has, served Nigeria in a very high capacity and has had his chance to set and leave a legacy. And opportunity has arisen again for him to leave an even greater legacy for Nigerians, which is simply to let the younger people have a go. Let the younger people lead the nation. Let the new brand of politicians lead the nation. Mr. Gregory Obi has always called him a leader. Leadership is not about always being in front. So Mr. Atiku could always step down and allow Peter Obi to go forward for this election. And thereafter, after 4 years, having shown himself to be a magnanimous leader, I'm sure the Nigerian people will be very willing and very happy to see him come in as president.
All right. Thank you very much, Dapo Adaramewa, for coming on the program from Lagos, and we hope to have you some other time.
Thank you very much.
And viewers, we wish we have more time, but unfortunately, this brings us to the end of today's package of Daily Politics. Join us tomorrow for another interesting edition of the program. From here, I'm Hamza Idris, wishing you all the best. Good night.